Guys, this question is for all you wholesalers out there. So do you or do you not go ahead and sell your wholesale property before you know if you have a clear title, before the title search comes back? Because this is a real issue that keeps coming up in the community and you need to know the right way to do it. So when you get a house under contract as a wholesaler, you take that contract down to the title company and you do what's called receipt the contract. And then they start a title search. So they're gonna start looking for any liens or judgments on that property. So the problem is this. What happens if you have a house under contract for $20,000, you sell it to a wholesale buyer for $25,000, and you get to closing, and then they tell you there's $30,000 worth of liens or judgments on the property, and you can't sell that property, yet you've already gone and taken a $5,000 non-refundable check from that buyer, and you went on down to the mall and you spent it, or you went out to the bars with your friends and you spent it, and you don't have any money to pay it back. This is a real problem, and this happens all the time. So you need to know, should I go ahead and sell or not? So here's 3 things I'm gonna give you that you need to look at each time you have a house under contract when you're a wholesaler. So number 1, you need to know how long your option period is. If you got a 60-day option, go ahead and wait. It's not a big deal to wait a week or 2, depending even if there's serious title issues, to find out if you can actually sell that house. Because there's nothing more embarrassing and nothing more emotionally upsetting to you or the buyer to know that you sold them a house, they thought they got a house, you thought you got a wholesale deal, and then you find out you can't even sell it and you have to go back, tail tuck, hand them their check back and say, sorry man, this deal's not gonna go down. It's because I didn't do my job right. Now, if you have a very, very short option period, which sometimes we do, because sometimes the way we get contracts is, oh, I only need a 3-day option when someone else is offering 30-day, my offer is stronger, and sometimes we tell them that. But if I have a 3-day option and I had to do that to get the contract, well, I'm not gonna go out there and wait until I get title work back. I'm gonna go ahead and sell the property. If there's a problem later, I'll handle it then. So go ahead, if you have a short option, sell it right then and there. The second thing you need to know, guys, is what type of properties are you marketing to? Low-end properties are more likely to have title issues that destroy the deal than higher-end properties. For example, a lot of times people in low-end areas, they don't pay their taxes, they're more likely to have judgments on them than people in higher-end areas because usually they're more responsible with their finances. That's why they're living in a high-end area, because they've managed their money well and done better in life at that moment. So a lot of times these houses have bigger liens. So say you have a $20,000 lien or judgment on a small house that you're selling for $20,000, it's a lot more likely that $20,000 is going to impact the sale of that property than it would on a $500,000 house. $20,000 on a $500,000 is not as bad as $20,000 on a $20,000 house. So lower end properties, you need to be more wary that some of these houses that sit there vacant for a long time end up having major title issues. Number 3, are you a title company or are you a title attorney state? And how fast do they get you the title work back? Some take longer than others. You may use a really busy title company. It may take them 10 days. It may take them 3 days. Guys, you need to know this because it depends on how long your contract is as far as option period versus how long they get it back to you. So that's what you need to know. How long is your option period? What type of properties are you usually working with? And then how fast your title company gets everything back to you. Now here's the big point I want to make today at the end. Guys, once you get a deposit check, even though it's non-refundable, if you get a $5,000 check in your pocket, do not ever, for any reason, go spend that money. You put it in your account and you hold it. That is a security deposit. That the only thing that it does is a security deposit and make sure it makes it more likely that that buyer buys the property. And if they don't buy it, you keep it. Because if you can't produce clear title, you give it back. It blows my mind how many people have a deal fall through where they can't produce clear title and that buyer's fighting to get their money back, and that wholesaler's like, nuh-uh, you gave it to me, it's non-refundable. No, it's non-refundable unless you cannot produce clear title. So if you can't sell a house to them and you took $5,000 for selling the house to them, you basically stole their money if you're not giving it back. You're a thief, you're a criminal. So if you get that check, the only way you spend it is if you're doing well in your business and you have money in your account, and if for some reason something happens, you can come out of pocket and pay that individual, pay that buyer back, right? Because if you're $20,000 in debt and you take a $5,000 check and you rush it down to the credit card companies because you're like, man, I want to get some of the weight of the world off my back, and then you can't produce clear title, you can't get that money back to pay them back, and now you're in a tough spot. And I see this happen a lot. So guys, do not spend the non-refundable earnest money. Hold it until the day it closes, and that's the best way to handle it. So go ahead and use those 3 tips I gave you. And if you have any more questions and you like today's video, go ahead and like it, subscribe to the channel, and send your questions in the comment box below, and we'll get to them. Have a good day.